Welcome to part 7 of my Miraculous redesign series. This time we're doing Carapace. How have I been doing this for almost a year and we're only on part 7? I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. In the meantime, let's just talk about his design. First things first, the baggy pants are honestly just becoming a design element at this point because I've now done them 3 times. I did them on Rena Rouge, I did them on Queen Bee, and now I've done them on Carapace. Once is on purpose, twice is an accident, 3 times is a coincidence, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, when it came to designing Carapace, he was probably the character I had the clearest idea for in my head, but I had the hardest time getting down on paper. For a reason I have a hard time understanding. Anyway, I did know that I wanted to make him armored because it's a turtle, and a turtle shell is kind of like a turtle's armor. So his torso is armored, along with the pattern parts on his arms and legs. Those are also armor. And then obviously his shell is still a shield. I also kept the hood because it just made sense to keep around. And that is actually an element I've used twice now. Viperian has one, but I didn't draw him with it up, but he does have one. So yeah, I've used that element twice now. And I'm probably gonna end up using it again. I will say, despite that all being somewhat coincidental, I do think it helps go towards unifying the team. Because in my opinion, if you're making a team of heroes, they should all be distinct enough in design, but when you line them all up, they should match, if that makes any sense. And I know I said team of heroes, but same thing should go with a team of villains. Shifting gears, because I've talked about all I want to talk about with his design for the time being, I was rewatching Queen Bee's video, and the audio mixing was so bad. You can barely hear my voice over the background music. And yes, I've gone in and checked to see if I can fix it. Apparently I can't. I am so sorry. I might just re-upload it, considering I have the video with just the voiceover. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Anyway, back to Carapace. I do quite like his canon design, for being one that might have been stolen. So there's a lot to it. So I'm just gonna summarize it from what I know. Back in 2016, a Tumblr user posted a piece of fan art that depicted Nino with the turtle Miraculous, and it ended up being very, very similar to what wound up being his canon design come 2018 when the episode aired. But it also all could have just wound up being a coincidence. But also because of how popular the concept apparently was, it also might not be, because the creators do have a tendency to take like popular fan things and make them canon. So who knows? But anyway, I did try to change things up a little bit. I did keep the hood as an element because it just kind of made sense to me. But the element I added that you can see I'm coloring here is a face mask, which is a design element I also gave my Viperian redesign. It's fine if they have some overlap. Both their animals are reptiles, it's fine. We just don't question it. Anyway, now let's talk about Nino, like, as a character, and how I will be changing his character slightly in my rewrite, because every character is getting their minor, and in some cases, major changes. Because, like, in canon, we really don't actually know that much about him. Like, we know he's Adrian's best friend, we know he has a younger brother, we know he's Alia's boyfriend, we know he's a semi-decent DJ, and that he wants to be a film director once he graduates. But aside from that, we don't know that much about him. We don't know what his home life is like and what his family situation is. We've never seen either of his parents, and it's implied in the very first episode that he's a little bit of a slacker in school. So, yeah, we really don't know that much about him. And I will say that I am going to keep most of that. He's still going to be an older brother, he's still going to be Alia's boyfriend, he's still going to be Adrian's best friend. But I want to give us some inside looks at his home life. And actually, so regarding my rewrite, I officially started working on the first episode back in October of 2024. It is April of 2025, and I have still not finished episode 1. Mostly because I originally went in underestimating how hard this was gonna be. Like, the first half of the episode, easy, breezy, fine. But then I get to the second half when they're in the school, and that's when the struggle hit. Because, well, these characters are French, I'm keeping them in France, so I decided, might as well figure out the French high school system. Mistake! Like, okay, good for education purposes, trying to figure out, but like, oh my god. Either every source I've found has just done a really bad job at explaining it, or my American brain just can't wrap my head around it. I want to say it's the first one and that just nothing's done a really good job at explaining it, because there are bits and pieces that I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then there's something else that like kind of contradicts it, so I don't know. Needless to say, though, I now see why they said it in a middle school. Last time I'm shifting topics because we are towards the end of this video now, and I don't really have much else to speak on. Because as seen here, I am coloring the skin, and the first time I went in, I made his skin too sunny, so I went in with a more neutral color in like the same shade range to balance it out. And then obviously I went in and did his hair. I could see how giving him an eye mask seems counterproductive considering I already gave him a face mask, but you gotta remember that he wears glasses, so I figured giving him an eye mask would make sense because like the glasses would like become the mask as well, so yeah. We are officially coming up on the tail end of this video now, to which I say, you've made it this far. Thank you so much. I know this one has been very long, but thank you so much for sticking with it until the end. Anyway, next hero who made his appearance is technically Viperian, but because I've already done him, next hero who will be getting redesigned is Pegasus, but I gotta do my Yura first.